first person I ever kissed was a boy. I can remember sitting in my first grade class.
Wow. Okay.
We were watching Charlotte's Web.
Mm-hmm. That's a good movie.
And yeah, it was a good movie. First grade, we all, everybody's sitting on the carpet.
Yeah.
And, we sitting in the back of the class.
Yeah.
And sitting very close. And we looked at each other and kissed.
Been through it all, but we up. We done been through it all, but we here, man.
We about to get ready.
I trust you. I trust you. I don't know why, but I do.
Oh man, this your boy Reginald Bradford. I'm with my man
Darrell Williams,
and we here at Touchy Topics. Touchy Topics is a place where we talk about topics that pierce your soul, that help grow and shape your mind. And the topic that we're talking about today is being a young Black man that's gay in America.
Okay, youngish.
Young. You know what I mean? And people don't know, D, that me and you have conversations. We've been having conversations, you know what I mean, for a while. And so I was like, let's go ahead and have this, because the whole gay thing, especially in our community, is taboo. We don't talk about it. You know what I mean?
Right.
From a positive perspective, when it's talked about, you have gay people who are speaking about it from their experience, or you have non-gay people who are speaking about it, but you actually don't have men, you know what I mean, gay, you know what I mean, and straight having dialogue, you know what I mean, in reference to it. So I would say, we'll start at our USF days, but now we can't start that. We gotta go back.
Before that?
Yeah, we gotta go back. You know what I mean? Because I actually want to know, because you're kind of old school, you know what I mean, in a sense, which means that you were part of the gay community during a time when it wasn't quote unquote cool to be gay. Right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that from a disrespect thing.
Yeah,
but,
no.
You come from a different era. So can you recall at what age it was that when you were first attracted to men?
Wow. 5, 6.
5, 6?
5, 6.
So fairly young.
Fairly young. So with that, as I preface this, I want to clarify, I wasn't molested. I wasn't touched. I wasn't any of that, because there's a lot of beliefs around if you're gay, you had to been exposed to it at a very early age through some type of traumatic, event.
Yeah,
that wasn't the case for me. The first person I ever kissed was a boy. I can remember sitting in my first grade class.
Wow. Okay.
We were watching Charlotte's Web.
Mm-hmm. That's a good movie.
And yeah, it was a good movie. First grade, we all, everybody's sitting on the carpet.
Yeah.
And, we sitting in the back of the class.
Yeah.
And sitting very close. And we looked at each other and kissed, And so I think, in looking back at it,
did it ever happen again with you and him, or was it just that particular moment
that time I remember is what I remember.
Okay.
But I also knew that I didn't have the words at the time. Mm-hmm. But looking back and how boyfriend, girlfriend, we were boyfriends in terms of. At that time, my school had just started doing where teachers would teach math and English, and then you would go to your next door class, and that would be where you would do your math and science.
Okay.
So during the changes of the class, he would carry my books. Mm. We would play on the playground. Mm. Sometimes play together, sometimes not.
Yeah.
But it was definitely a he took care of me. You know what I'm saying? As much as a 5, 7, 8-year-old can, but we just did that for each other, which was different than just being friends.
Correct. Did any of the teachers or any administration notice that you guys were?
No, that's the strange thing.
Wow.
No, not even like the other kids. Like it wasn't a thing. It wasn't really like, talked about. And even into like second grade, even though we were in separate classes, we still like at lunch, our classes sat next to each other. So it was like by the time third grade, we was broken up by that time. by the time we're like 9, we was broken up. No, I think by that time, it became a thing. Like this is not what boys are supposed to do.
Okay.
And so I think for him, again, to Black boys growing up in the hood, like it's not a thing. And I think because I was on more of the feminine side, growing up, it was a thing for him. Like, why are you hanging out with that? Why are you hanging out with that sissy? Like those. And so again, that's how I came into it. That's how I came into knowing about my homosexuality. It was definitely from a negative perspective and through the views of others.
Okay.
And so I think, so I knew and again, when I say knew, like I knew that I was different only because of like the things that other people were saying.
So, you didn't think that it was wrong until you all was in the third grade, or did you?
I still didn't think it was wrong, probably until I turned like 10.
10. Okay, so hold that for a moment, because did you have anybody in your family who noticed that you were gay, or at an early age, and help you navigate through those feelings, or?
Oh, navigate? No, there was no navigating. There was no talking about it. There was, we finna beat this shit out you.
Oh wow!
Like that's what it was.
So so who was the first person in your family that you can remember saying something to you in reference to your sexuality, and then it turns into, like you said, we finna beat this shit out of you?
My cousins.
Your male cousins. Okay. They were older or younger?
Older, a couple years, 3-4 years.
Okay.
So by the time I'm entering my teens, like my cousins, they was like in our little town. Like they was dope boys. I'm from Tampa, from West Tampa.
Oh, okay. You from the hood?
Yeah, I'm from the hood. Yeah, and so when I say the hood, like I didn't grow up in the projects, and that's not but I was project adjacent, working class.
Right, don't nobody use the term project adjacent.
Yeah, but I know, but I'm saying like, and that's not to negate or to disparage, the projects, but I was down the street from the project, but it was still a hood, right? Yeah. But yeah, so by the time I'm in my teens, my cousins, like they moving weight in the city, like they, you know what I'm saying? So they are them dudes. So I think for me, it was two things for them. Like they didn't want me doing what they was doing because I wanted to be a dope boy. Like I just, I wanted to be, and I think I would have been really, really good at it. I think I would have been, because I'm smart. Yeah. So I think like I could see the mistakes that they were making, but I couldn't like
the infatuation of being a dope boy.
Right? Yeah, no. So I could tell them like, hey, this is not what you need to be doing, and here's how you need to be to increase their longevity in the game, right? And to increase their return on their profits. But that's neither here nor there. So I think that they recognize, like, so for me, school was the thing that I always did well. Okay. And so they wanted me to do that thing. But then, like I said, I was also on the effeminate side. Okay. And so I remember hearing things like Sissy and whatever. I remember.
How did that make you feel?
It made me feel different. It was said with enough venom that I knew it wasn't a bad thing. I mean, I knew it was bad. I knew it was a bad thing. I knew it wasn't.
How old were you? Good. How old were you the first time somebody called you that?
Maybe 8, 9.
8, 9.
8, 9, Sissy.
Yeah. One of your cousins?
No, this was a random person.
Just a random person.
Yeah, okay. Just But yeah, I do remember one Halloween. in my teens, I might have been 12, 13. I dressed up as a cheerleader.
Mm.
That was the first Halloween I dressed up as a female cheerleader.
Back then?
Shit, yeah.
Wow.
So I've always been, I'm gonna do my own thing.
Okay.
Because like I said, I'm smart. So I've always been the smartest in the room. So my mouth has always been ridiculous. Like that has always been my weapon. And so if you said something to me, I had 5 things to say back.
Yeah.
And it was by the 5th thing, it was going to end the conversation because either A, you was going to fight me, or B, you was going to be so embarrassed that let me leave him alone and go on and do what I got to do. But this one particular Halloween, dressed up like we're going trick-or-treating, I go to my cousin's house. He might have been 16. Like I said, he dope boy. And he kicked my ass. Again, so at the time, I wasn't this understanding, but looking back on it, I can understand the fear and the misunderstanding that
he had.
Yeah, because you're seeing your male cousin with, cheerleader shell with the skirt on. Did I have hair? I might have had a wig on, like one of my mama's wig or something like that. Might have been. Because we were all supposed to go trick-or-treating.
Been through it all, but we up. We done been through it all, but we here, man. Been through it all, but we up. We done been through it all, but we here, man.